Hello and welcome to our game of SAO Standby versus Haruhi. Both of these decks are previewed on our channel, but we just wanted to get some gameplay footage of it too. So how are you doing today, Colton?
Doing all right. Quarantine is what it is.
I'm dropping 4.
I I'm lucky enough to be able to work through most of this. So, um, today's my day off.
I feel that.
I'm gonna just pitch those two. All right, you're going first.
That is a good thing. There is much rejoicing there. That is my waiting room. That's fun. Okay. I'm going to clock that one. Draw 2.
That's the 2-1 from Alicization, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite fun.
Remember when we went to our first challenge with these decks, you were really hoping because I know because the guy we went up to Legends in Grand Rapids, and the guy whose name is also Brandon, who kind of runs the Weiss operation out there, he had just opened a box of Alicization. So he had a bunch of commons and stuff in a box, and you were really hoping that we'd be able to find one of those.
Card effect, just look at the top card. It is an avatar net character, so I can put it into my hand, and I can choose one to put into the waiting room. I am actually going to get rid of that one. And yeah, no, I needed to. Because I made the fun mistake of coming up with. I only came up with the deck that I had on me, and I apparently decided to take a deck card out of the deck. So I actually needed the card. But Alicization had just dropped, what, Friday? Yeah,
This was literally like
the day
the
after.
day after Alicization had dropped. So 3 in a standby.
Patience? No. I played Standby. I actually played the Climax.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought that was the trigger.
No, swing, just 2.
That and draw for turn. We use untap. For those of you that maybe don't recognize what platform we're on, untap.in. I like it just because it's kind of a smaller operation. Um, it's not as taxing on a computer. And also there's no paywall, so you can just kind of roll in and play. I don't have a great hand, but I don't have a terrible hand. Really, I'd like to fill this front row, but we'll at least get the reverse here.
You're going to reverse the reverser. Yeah, I know it sticks. I find it more convenient to put my clock on the left side, my level on the right, just because the screen it narrows. Otherwise, I would put it essentially where my deck is.
Fair enough. And then we're gonna swing. Everybody dies. Or 3.
Ooh, yeah. Let's do that.
Take that, and then this
Are you gonna encore? Since you have character card encore.
I was going to character encore, but then I realized that I didn't actually have the character in my hand I thought I had. So, oops. Doesn't matter. Your turn.
Cool. Sure. I'll stand up. Draw 1. That is helpful. Because I'm gonna come over here. Pull that one. And draw the 2. Okay. I actually like this. This is a good move. I'm going to slide you up. Yeah, I'm going to put you there. 1. This one. Flip the top card. It is a character. And so it gets 2,000 power. Until end of turn. I am going to play that one. I really... Yeah. I'm going to do that. Draw 1. Drop 1.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna brainstorm here.
And I will pay 1 to ping if you hit a brain if you hit a climax.
Yeah, you are.
Because I have the
Yep, I hit 1.
and there it is. So I'll pay out the 1, get my climax out of my stock, and hopefully do 1.
Yeah. What card do I want?
Eamon's absolutely sick of that.
Yeah.
Of that ping 1 anti-brainstorm.
I am. I absolutely am. Shuffle. Pay the 1. Yep, it hits. Yeah, I think that's the right call for that. Okay. And with that, I am going to swing.
Okay.
For just 1. Three. For another 3 once you've leveled.
Oh, okay. All that sticks. This goes away.
And I pass the turn.
All right. Oh. Draw 2. There we go. Okay. And the usual, and then I'm gonna play the. I didn't clock. Did I?
Yeah, you did.
No, I did.
Right there.
I did. Yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah, so I thought. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Put that down. Gonna play the 1/1 event. Pay it out.
You were getting greedy over there with your usual Haruhi. That's what it was.
I'm gonna. I can search for 2 SOS Brigade characters.
So I'm looking pretty well set. Getting ready for the next stage.
In the hand, and then pitch character.
I'm not a fan of your compression right now.
No, my compression is pretty excellent. I will take this.
So I know I'm going to get reversed here. However, with standby, I think I got it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Basically putting the Haruhi in the middle. I'm not going to be able to get a reverse off of that, but it's a free level 1 that I can go get with the event pretty easily. So we're going to swing here. For the 1.
Yep.
And you're at 5, right? Check, you're at 5,000.
Oh, over in the end, yeah. The AR battle, yeah.
So they both reverse, which means I go to memory as well. Which means you get reversed and I go to memory.
Yep.
Here I'm gonna side.
Okay.
0. And then here, you're still.
I'm just at
5,000, right?
Yep.
So I thought. Yep. So, for 1.
Well, that was...
This goes to memory. And we're going to gate out this. Put it in hand. And pass turn.
When this one here goes into the waiting room, up to 3 cards revealed, choose an avatar net character, put into hand. I'm going to put that one. And then I can discard a character card. It's going to be that one. Yeah. And then you're going to pass the turn marker.
Yep. I'm very bad at remembering to pass the turn marker.
Well, it's easier to do it when you're not actually talking in person. Untap, draw 1. I actually have to do that one. To draw 2. Okay. I'm going to move this one up here.
This, that 1/1 event allows you to, well, it allows me to manage my compression a little bit better. It helps me get a couple of characters out of my deck so that when I leave the open spaces, by sending the usuals to memory.
I'm not going to do the first auto.
They get more cancels. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do it this way. I'm going to brainstorm. Doing the Kyoto brainstorm. Okay. So I hit 2. So draw 2, discard 1. I think I'm going to discard this one. And then the other draw 2, discard 1. Yeah. Okay. And then okay. We'll do that. We're going to stand by. And we're going to stand by in my level 2. Okay. Now that that's done, we will start swinging. For 2. So I have the cards I need for the next stage of game. So it's just a matter of getting them out there. For one
cancels.
Deck refresh. And for 3. You love to see that. Getting all that damage in when I can.
Okay, that goes away. These both go back into the field from memory. And we'll draw for turn. That. It's easier going forward. Clock draw 2.
Which is really interesting to see. Is your 2-1 kind of pairs with that climax but at the same time in the backfield. Okay.
The 2-1 is just traitless, so it's hard to search out, which is why it's not the primary end game engine.
Oh no, absolutely.
So we're gonna put this one out here. We're gonna pay 1. Get the climax out of the waiting room again.
We'll have a next stage combo in hand. I'm likely going to lose most of my front row. But I have the stock to get some of it out. Yeah, no, that's about right. That makes sense. Now the real question is, does he play one more? I think he will. I think he will because I think he needs to.
Normally there isn't a whole lot of reason to play a second assistance in the back row. I've been getting the cancels, so this game has moved a little bit faster than I was expecting. So now I'm at this place where, like, I need to have, I need to have 6 stock in order to get all 3 of my Trouble Girls into the field. So now we're just in this place where it's like, okay, so what are we going to do to, make sure we get there? We'll do this. Okay, I like this plan. Put this out here. I'll play Climax, which blind stocks 1.
Interesting.
So we're going to swing here. Or no, excuse me. I'm sorry. Before I play the Climax, I'm tapping this.
Yeah, I figured. I was like...
Yeah. Nope, tapping that, giving the power to the usual in the middle. Now we keep it going.
Middle?
What's that?
Middle?
Yeah, to the one in the middle, yes.
To
give 1,000.
Yeah, just giving it 1,000. So it's still 1,500 short.
Yes, that is going to get the 1,500 from the hot springs.
Oh, yep, got it. Okay.
because the hot springs is going to reverse. It's going to reverse your comforting moment asana.
Yep. Yep, you're good.
For swing for 2.
1, 2. Cancels.
When you get reversed, this gives 1,500 to the usual in the middle, and now this one's at 7,500.
Flip the top. It's a level 1 or higher, so it goes to waiting room. Yep. So now you're power tied.
Swing here. Or 4.
Well.
If this stuck, I would really like that.
No, just barely. On 4.
Kicks to memory. The Yui gets reversed, and then the swing here. For 2. And then this will also go to memory.
That does stick.
Oh, glad something did.
And fresh board. End turn? Draw 2. Okay, I'm going to move this one up. Okay. And yeah, I'm going to play that one as well. Reveal the top. It is a climax. Cool. So I do not get the power boost. Okay. I'm going to, now that I have 4 characters, early play the Xenon, pay 2, draw up to 1, and 2,000 power. I'm going to play the climax. Now here I have to choose between my level 3 combo or power pump in the back. Yeah. Put him on the field. Rested, and then to the swings. For 2.
So.
Cancel on 1. For 2.
Again, okay.
For 4. And a gate, which I will use this time.
That one sticks.
I chose not to use Xenon's ability here because I want to use that in the end game and swing for win. Not letting my opponent get a chance to come back. So I think I'm actually really pretty well set up for my end game. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I got what I need. That's fantastic, actually. Now the question is, you have your 6.
We're gonna clock and draw.
But you don't have your end game.
Sorry, that's supposed to be a draw. And then the penalty.
That is really nice to see. Of course, you did draw into your climax that you needed. That's
It's
Awesome for
not
you.
that is not the climax that I needed.
Oh, it's not? Oh, you needed someday in the
No,
rain.
it's the
My
other one.
bad.
So we're gonna put these two down, which heals both of these.
Now, this is an interesting combination because not only does it have the heal, it has the burn 1 ahead of time. But being at 2-1, I think I'm good here. But at the same time, I want to make sure I don't overplay here and lose my advantage.
Play this one. Now we'll use this. So, what's everybody at in the front row?
They should be at base powers.
I thought.
No, this one here in the middle. Sorry, this has because it's facing level 3.
Right. That's
Well,
right.
sorry, no. That's only when it attacks. I'm just reading.
Yeah.
Reading it helps.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's
7,000.
what I thought. Okay. All right. We're gonna swing here then.
Yep.
It combos. So I'm gonna go into the waiting room. Gonna go get this, put it in hand.
Yep. I'm assuming it's that one.
We're gonna swing for 2.
Cancels, and the next one cancels too. You're welcome. It cancels the burn.
Wow.
Sorry.
It'll cancel. There's no burn.
Oh, good.
This is the
That's
rest.
right.
This isn't that climax.
So yeah, I'll cancel that too.
All right.
Oh, there it is. There's the other one. Okay.
And the swing for 2.
Yep, that one does hit.
Honestly, this is rotated about as well as it, normally does. But when your opponent just cancels everything, nothing. It doesn't matter.
I mean, it's true.
You've had what, 4 or 5 cancels so far?
At least. It's canceling much better than it usually does. I like it. I appreciate it very much for that.
I forgot to blind stock. Doesn't matter.
Did you just blind stock now?
Oh no, just keep going.
Well, actually, because I'm level 2, I'm gonna clock that one. Draw 2. Okay. Move that up. Need that one. 5,000. Okay. Play that one. So that way I can early play that one. Again, 2,000 power to draw. Yeah. Okay. Climax. Yeah. So I'm going to swing here. Perfect. For 1, 2, 3, 4. Math is hard. Perfect. 1 out of the way. When I attack here, I'm going to do the climax combo, the pay 3, discard 2. Choose 1 Link Strike character from my waiting room that is not Link Strike Kirito. Play over it. When this comes into the field, draw 1. And for the actual attack that's happening, it is 2. Perfect. And then We're going to come over here and swing for 3. Okay. Gonna check the number of climaxes in my waiting room. Okay, so when this one here in the middle attacks this one on the end, I'm going to do the ability, because why not? Which is pay 1, discard 2. And then reveal up to the top 3 cards of your deck. Sorry, put the top 3 cards of your deck into your waiting room. 1.
That's the first one you need. Then you're going to need to pull the top 2 and then take your refresh.
Yep. Haha! Success!
And every climax you've needed.
Yep.
Exactly where you need the whole game.
The whole game. So you stand back up.
You're at what? 6 out of 33? You pulled that off the top?
No, I'm a 7. A 7 out of 33.
36, because you have one in the... Didn't you just pay one out?
I did, but then I paid it out for the Kirito play.
Oh, that's right, okay.
So the attack in the middle is for 3. And that's game. And then we'll start with rolling. Ooh, big rolls today. I like it. Draw 5.
Just going to pitch 1.
Since I'm going first, that's how I'm going to play it. Yeah, good call. Okay, perfect. Draw 1. Man, this deck keeps better and better. Wow, okay. Yeah, this played out really well. I'm going to put this one in the front row. Your stock is 3 or less, so plus 1,000 power. I'm going to put these 2 into the back row. And when I do, flip the top. Waiting room. And then to flip the top of the waiting room again. Probably. Yeah. I'm gonna put that in the waiting room as well. Okay. Now that I've done that, climax turn 1. Paying the cost. Look at flip the top card because it's easier that way. Draw 1. Pay the cost. Flip the top card. Draw 1. And stand by that one. And then swing. For 1, 2, 3. And stand by. That one goes there. That one goes there.
All right. So now that you've gotten through the first 15 cards of your deck, I don't think, like, of course, it's when we're recording that it actually, like, this is easily the best rotation your deck has ever gotten.
At least on tap, yeah.
Draw a clock, draw 2.
It's trying to.
500.
I was just gonna say it was gonna try to show itself off to the world. Look how pretty I am.
swing here?
Sure. Yep.
Probably the one thing about Untapped that is actually legitimately irritating is when you start a second game, when you click the play button, cards go back to wherever they were on the stage last. So sometimes your clock will, or sometimes when you're paying out damage, it'll go all over the place. This is gonna reverse both of us. Swing for 2.
Yep, also hits.
Swing for 2 again.
Yep.
Okay.
Here. That goes away. And untap. Draw 1. Clock 1. Draw 2. Of course. I am gonna move you up. Going to come down here. And play that one. I don't have to worry about you pinging. So I'm going to brainstorm. For 0. And I'm going to stand by again. Pay the cost. And put on the field. And then I'll swing here. For 2. Or sorry, 1. There's just 1. I got excited. Then I'm going to give the power to the other Kirito. I'm going to swing in the middle first. This time for 2. And then on this side for 1. And thus endeth my turn.
I'm just going to let him go to waiting room.
I mean, that's fair.
Back draw 2.
Because your stock is still 3, she still has 1,000 power. But everybody else is base. Okay. Okay.
Chilling out at level 0. This is the hot springs and the prep and proper with one another, especially like a facing level 0 opponents. It's typically pretty easy to save the hot springs. Couple of reverses and also save your reverser, which is a neat little bit of tech. So if this is exactly what I want. This is in fact what I want. All right, we are going to swing here. 2.
Yep.
I add the 1500 to the proper in the middle, which gets it to 3500. So they're both at 35. One.
Yep.
When this reverses a battle opponent, you can tap something else and move it to the back row. That's what I'm going to do with the reverser. And then here, I'm going to side with this. 0. And that's turn.
Okay. Ending the turn.
Seems like you used a lot of your cancels in the last game.
I did. It was quite fun. Okay.
As they all seem to still be in your deck.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
You know, this deck pokes for very small in the mid game, which, for obvious reasons, is not, it's not ideal in most situations. But when when my opponent has good compression, like you do, it helps. I'm able to still, poke for 1 or 2.
One on the brainstorm.
Advance the game state a little bit. Enough cards?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm gonna have to discard here in a minute. As I'm looking at these cards, I'm trying to figure out what's gonna help me best in the end game. I don't like having all these little 3s in hand, but I want to get them to the waiting room on the next refresh, not this one. Call. Okay.
You just brainstormed, right?
Oh, yeah, I did hit, so if you wanted to deal 1.
I do want to deal 1.
Okay. I cancel it.
I will accept that.
Good. I don't think you really had a choice there.
Oh, I mean, it's worth that swing. Especially because
yeah,
I'm still pretty early on and I have enough turns ahead of me to build up stock to get my end game going. So
3.
Having an extra stock at the top isn't a bad play at this point.
I'm swinging here for 4, and I am not going to gate at this point in time.
Like, I know I've got like 6 or 7 in there. Exactly how many? God.
Just 2.
And that's gonna die. All right. Turn. Wait.
Discard, sorry.
Draw.
Because I have to discard at least 1.
That
one.
We're gonna clock and draw 2 more. Okay. play.
Yep.
Play as well and pay out the one. I'm gonna play this. Search for 2 SOS Brigade characters.
Let's see, while you're searching, you're likely looking for your usuals. Oh, I'll guess that one too. To get your cards in the middle of the field ready to go. You're not going to be able to pull off the same trick as you did last time with the 7K in the middle. Maybe you can. But it'll be pretty close. I really run that for
2
anti-change and a good standby target for level 1. Just to add some extra power to the field. But I think I have everything I need here. We'll see what happens. Okay.
Everything as is, right?
Yeah. I know I have one climax left in the deck. I'm just hoping it's not the last card. So I'd really like to get that in there for the refresh. Especially because it ties in with my level 3 combo. Oh, you can get there?
I can get somewhere. Math is hard, but
I think you can. I think you can get there. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. There it is.
cool. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna swing here. 2.
I cancel on 1. Thankfully.
So with the keep like not actually tapping the card, but obviously giving the 1,000 to the Primp and Proper. The 1,500 from the Hot Springs is going to the Primp and Proper, and then the 500 from the Flowers in Both Hands as well.
Yep.
So
putting it up at 5. Yeah.
Swing here as well. So we get the reverse there, which so first things first, it does 1.
Yeah, that was the big thing. It does 1, so the deck refresh.
Yep, swings for 1, and then you're gonna deck refresh. So while you're doing that, my usual goes to memory because I got the reverse.
You hate to see that.
Or because do you though?
I do.
I don't think so.
I hate to see it on myself.
So I can also gate something back into hand, which I'm gonna do. But then I also, because of the Flowers in Both Hands, I can pay 1 and blow away a level 1, which I'm actually not gonna do that. Because
you reversed them?
That'd be pointless. Because I'm literally reversing it, so that would be actually kind of silly. So we're just gonna stick that back in there. What I might do though, because yeah, nope, we'll just nope, we're gonna leave it as is. And then with all this power here, which is hilarious, we're gonna swing here.
Sure.
Just for 1.
Yeah, it hits.
probably the biggest target I've ever actually gotten a reverse off. A reverse against with the Prim and Proper.
Is that turn?
That's turn. We've played this matchup so many times. That I'll forget to tap things on the regular. Always forgetting to arrest the assistants for the power pump just because we both know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's true. The number of times that I do that is insane. I'm gonna clock that one.
This is a little bit more normal, I think, as well. You know, I'm occasionally canceling damage.
Oh man.
Canceling damage. It's a little more normal of a flow. Because realistically, like, I mean, we've played this matchup probably at least a couple dozen times.
Mm-hmm.
And would you say, I mean, also, would you say the series is generally pretty even?
Generally, I think you actually beat me more than I beat you, which is really sad, in my opinion.
I think, and the thing is, like, I mean, I'm self-aware enough to know that this Haruhi deck is like not good. It's fine. Like, I play it because I like these characters and I like the finisher. But it's also, I think that a lot of people, like I've seen Haruhi on, on the F tier of too many tier lists. And I'm like, there's some pieces here though. There are some pieces here. I'm not gonna take this to regionals, but like,
I'll play over.
This doesn't suck. Not as bad as people think it does, anyway. So, I've taken this deck to a couple of, I've taken it to locals, I've taken it to Shop Challenge, and I win about half of my games with it. So, and honestly, that's all I think you can really expect from a deck like this. But the fact that it does win half of its games and it doesn't just get run over all the time, it's about as optimized as I think it can be. Considering like it does come from an objectively underpowered set. I'm afraid that people are gonna, see me playing Haruhi and think that I think it's good. I know it's not good, so don't worry about me. I've not gone off the deep end. All right, we should get some cancels here, right? I think I got like 4 in here.
Right. I'm swinging for 3, so
I keep being vague just because I know that you don't know what's in my hand. So.
Well, I mean, I can tell that this is now 4, or sorry, this is now 3 climaxes in your waiting room. So I can see that, but
right, but you can't. No, but you don't know if there are. There could be anywhere from 2 to 4 climaxes in my deck, and I also know that like the stream is on your computer, so no one can see my hand; they can only see yours.
Yeah,
because Brandon has a better computer than I do.
That's fair. I will say that. I will give you that one.
One of the reasons that we play on Untap is because my computer, is not a huge fan of Tabletop Simulator. As much as I am a fan of Tabletop Simulator, my computer really doesn't appreciate when I try to run it. This is what happens when you have an old Lenovo ThinkPad. Continue.
No, I'm just debating on the stock. Sorry.
Enough.
No, yeah. Yeah. Should be enough. Another 2. Hey, it hits.
Yeah, that one does. You. I don't need you. I have one of you already. Everything else can go to the waiting room, and we're at level 2.
That's what I figured was gonna happen. Okay. Stand by. So 3.
So as someone who plays a lot more standby than I do, cancel.
Yeah.
Talk for a second.
Sure.
About watching people play standby, because again, I don't really like standby's fine. I know it's powerful. I don't enjoy it a lot to play personally. I mean, it's fine. Like I'm not against it, but if I'm gonna play a deck, I'm usually gonna try to find something that has different mechanics than standby. it looks to me like a lot of standby. If you trigger that standby climax, it changes a lot of what you're doing. You almost have to make adjustments based on if you trigger a standby, it maybe doesn't disrupt what you're doing, but it definitely changes what you're doing.
Realistically, for
Unpack.
me, it only adds to the benefit of what I need. Like for example, one of the big things that I was doing, the reason I stalled out a little bit on Lisbeth, was because I was trying to do the math on the stock of what I have and what I don't. Because I'm pretty sure I actually misplaced one of my stock. Pretty positive it's that one. Sorry, play, play. Because it should be that one, then that one. Because I was looking at 4 and thinking that 4 wasn't enough to get, or 4 wasn't good enough for my next turn. And so I was actually trying to figure out what I wanted for that, or what I was going to do, whether to get the Kirito out from hand, or if it was going to be. Because then I can, but I wouldn't get as many of my attacks in as I would like.
Fair enough. I mean, it does check out. If you play it, it does work to your advantage. But
Well, in this case with the standby here, it also gave me the option of choosing whether or not to put my level 3 support onto field. Additional 2,000 power to the characters in front on your turn, so it'd be super helpful for keeping them around. But I also look at your level and realize you're only level 2, so that's why I chose not to in this case.
makes sense.
But
Some
if you were a little bit higher and you were going to be putting your level 3s onto field, I may have chose the support in the backfield.
No, that makes sense. So, how does it affect the way that you game plan? Because you never know when you're going to hit that standby, or even if you're going to hit that standby, and how it affects the way that you set up for your end game. So, like, how do you game plan for that, or is it just one of those things where you just have to play it as it comes? Draw for turn.
There's a little bit of that,
Draw turn.
but for the most part, it's making sure I have cards in waiting room. So, for example, on deck refreshes, my goal is also to get cards in waiting room relatively quickly. So that way, if I do trigger standby, I have options to pull from. Also, when I'm building the deck as well, I'm also making sure I have more options to go out to. Because it can happen mid combat, I want to make sure I have the right tools and pieces that only make my board better.
Sure.
So I'm not wasting a standby trigger. Because it has the option of may bring a character into field. You don't have to if you like your board as is, but it kind of wastes the idea of the standby in the first place. So I want to try to take full advantage of it.
Enough. All right. What is not ideal? I paid the 2 to rest the assistants and go get a trouble girl. I don't know if you saw that. But...
Yeah, I did. I caught that.
All right, just making sure that you saw it.
Yep.
Um,
Checking the waiting room, seeing if there's any climaxes that I missed, as well as your level 3 endgame. And it looks like you have a good number of your pieces. Don't have the stock though, because I suspect you have 2 in hand. And that was picking up your second one. Either that or it's on the top of your deck. But I figure for a level 2, my early plays are pretty well set against your deck.
yeah.
Because I know you also don't play any like anti-change cards.
We're gonna blind stock.
Blind stock deck refresh. I like it.
I don't. I don't love it. As long as it's not a climax, right? Then we're gonna swing and lose.
2.
Yep.
I'm gonna cancel it.
And 2 again.
I'm gonna cancel that as well.
Gross.
Yeah. I kind of feel bad. To draw 2. That's what I was afraid of. Okay. Switch those. And yeah. I'm just gonna feel really bad. Because I think I can. I can come close. Let's see how good your compression is. Swing here first. For 4. Good start, good start.
Take it.
Okay, I'm gonna swing here.
More or less guarantees my survival at least.
For 5. Okay. I'm going to declare my attack here and play the climax combo in the middle. Three to the waiting room. Discard 2. 1. Yeah. Discard those 2. To then play Xenon over, which allows me to draw 1. I'm going to actually do the swing for 4. Yep, perfect. I am then going to swing in the middle. But when I swing in the middle, pay the 1. 2 goes directly in, and 1 more. For a miss, pay the 1. And then for the other Xenon on the other end, there it is. She stands back up. The attack in the middle for 4. And
At 5.
yeah, no, it's 5. I'm just, yeah, sorry, 5. Oh, okay, that man. Okay. I was like, do I gate the standby trigger or not? And I'm like, I was stuck at that moment of thought. I'm like, do I gate the standby trigger? I mean, it would be a good card to discard. So, but I'm at 7, so that's where I was kind of at the debating point of do I pick up standby to discard something else or not? And I'm like, because I assumed you were going to cancel. So I'm like, that's too big. 2 games from 2-5 represent.
Oh man. Ultimately nothing matters if you can't get cancels.
Welcome to Game 3 of SAO versus Haruhi. We switched over to uh, Tabletop Simulator, in part to demonstrate the game through a different means. We've imported our decks into Tabletop Simulator. Play around with the shuffling ratios and whatnot.
We're perfectly aware that this is the old not good mat. We recorded this before the new mat came out, so this was the mat to use when we recorded this. It's been a minute.
So as we're getting our stuff situated in the game, one of the cards that you have in your deck that I think is really interesting how you play it is your clean cut.
Oh yeah, the level 0 primp and proper, yeah.
I just find that really interesting because especially with my deck focuses around having up basically maxing out the board as much as possible, having 5 cards on the field. Where your early play seems to, with a clean cut, want to run 4 or 3 even.
To be fair, at level 0, there's not a whole I'm not running any level 0 backup stuff. Oh, there's no level 0 power pump in this list. I don't care about the back row a whole lot until level 1, just because there isn't anything to run. This is a very, very old set. So aside from the flowers in both hands, universal 500. Universal 500, just 500 of the characters in front. Aside from that, there's nothing to play in the back row at level 0 other than maybe the brainstorm thing. It's pretty. You'd have to get a lot of cards in hand to play on the field to load up the field at level 0. So I'm not to try to. It's not gonna. You're not gonna. I'm not gonna get the. I'm not gonna get the hand that I need to fill the field at level 0 very often anyway. So might as well hold something back and give myself the opportunity to save something so I can keep a full front row, because that's really the priority.
That's fair. I mean, realistically, at 0, you're still kind of setting up, so you don't necessarily always have the resources to get 5 cards on the field instantly. So having a clean cut to help save some of those resources, help save board. Definitely.
It's a mechanic that we don't see as much of nowadays. It's not as common. So a couple of interesting mechanics in the Haruhi set that wouldn't mind seeing make a comeback. I like the time machine effect at level 1. Dual Haruhi, I think it's kind of neat. I don't think we're seeing as much high level. I don't know if we have any burn the meta right now aside from the Mikasa in AOT. So
not typically burn 1.
it's burning for higher numbers, but you have to pay. But you have to pay something out.
There's very few for free options.
Is the Mikasa free? I don't even remember. I don't play AOT, so
it has a free burn 1, and then you can pay for burn another.
That's what I thought. Okay.
But no, most of the burns that you see now are more the Musashi burns.
They're decent. Don't I'm not a and I mean I'm not a huge fan of the inconsistency that comes with those, but It's also just me being too picky. Not saying I wouldn't run those because I absolutely would, but if I have an option, if I were designing a set, I would rather just have a burn one rather than a Musashi.
I do also appreciate standbying on turn one. That is super helpful, especially if I can get that Yui in the backfield.
I feel like there are some people that would play that level zero, especially on turn one. But a lot of decks don't have a lot of level one standby targets. I think it's interesting that this deck has such a prominent one.
And yeah, that's fair. And realistically, I only run a couple of those anyway. Usually, I run those as a kind of fallback option if I trigger a standby early on, just because I want to make sure that I don't want any resources to go to waste. If that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
I hear you. Sticking 4 on turn one, by the way, always a good feeling.
Messing around with these controls. These controls are. I don't like tabletop
That
simulators auto connect pieces. Like I like parts of it, but it also tries to clump way too easily for me.
doesn't help that on this mat in particular, it was so tough to get the clock into the right slots. I spent an inordinate amount of time just trying to get my clock situated. So they fixed that in the newer the newer mats have fixed that problem.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
One of the things that makes Haruhi needs to stick something at some point. Like it needs to stick a big hit at some point. Because it eats so much because of the open field. So getting that out of the way early in the game when you are sitting at realistically your worst compression in the entire game. I don't mind pushing you to level one because I know you're just going to push me back. So, or he's trying to win on turn 5, ideally. So, especially going second. So it doesn't hurt my feelings pushing you to level one.
No, absolutely. And this deck's really designed to be able to keep up with that kind of speed. Because I know there's quite a few decks that try to slow down the pace, try to slow down the game,
Mm-hmm.
uh, especially early on. So that way,
Level
when they get to level 3, they can swing excessively.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like the pacing of these decks specifically. It just feels it has a natural feel to it. I think.
This is also probably the matchup that we know because of the inordinate amount of time it takes to build something like a mono red Haruhi. We tested this way more than we probably should have. So we've played this matchup so many times.
I also just feel like the board feels small in Tabletop Simulator.
I agree. I mean, there's a lot of space over on the sides of the tables that can't use. Oh, I hear you. The new mats fix some of those problems.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, they do. I know they do. It's just it. I like a lot of space.
YouTube.
Even with my playmat, I am using up just about every little inch I can.
I don't mind playing in a small space. I just like being able to see everything nice and big.
Yep. Because like yeah, you can recognize the details when they're small. It's just
Mm.
helpful when they're a little bit bigger. That also just might be my poor eyesight.
I'm also not much of a gamer, So for me, and even the games that I do play are mostly point and click kind of things. So like using essentially having one hand on a keyboard, one hand on a mouse is very still something I'm not particularly used to.
Mm.
I spend way more time in spreadsheets, and Control C, Control V is you know, pretty straightforward.
Oh yeah, no, it is. It's true. Well, now that you can actually see my deck, or see my hand rather,
Yeah,
now you can see how many climaxes actually come through the hand real quick.
yeah. Did I you brainstorm on this turn? Did I try to ping? Try
I
out the
didn't.
ping?
I didn't. I didn't hit.
Okay.
Otherwise, you would have. No, I didn't expect the brainstorm to hit. It,
Oh,
mainly because I've gone through several climaxes now, and especially with the triggering of the last climax, it's more
was
of
good.
yeah.
Was good. So now I'm sitting at level 1, and I have think 2 stock at this point. I think I have the I am here climax in hand at this point. I don't know. I also think I'm sitting on 1 Trouble Girl in hand at this point. I don't remember.
Um,
Um,
you
at this
have
point,
you have two in deck or two in waiting room, I believe.
I thought I had 1 in hand at this point. No, I don't remember though. At this point, what I want to do is try to field usuals.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, they're
And
gonna.
if I can find a little bit of power pump to take care of the UE, I will. But think I don't think I can really get there.
Well, I mean, the UE is a 7/5 level one, just base, and with the Asuna that's on the field, she's actually on my turn an 8.
Mm. It would take.
You could get there for sure. I'm just
I could get there, but it would require would need the reverser. The 1500, yeah, that one. So I don't know
well,
if that's what I did. I don't remember.
no, you didn't, not this time. Um, but
I think I decided to
you're getting the usuals now because you decided that it would be easier to take out the 4/5s as opposed to the 7/5, and mainly I bring that out because it costs resources to try to get to step over if my opponent wants to step over. Sometimes level one combos, especially for newer decks, can get a lot higher than your usuals can. So having the 7/5 is helpful, especially on defense. But realistically, this deck is designed to be able to be reversed at level 1. I don't run a level 1 combo with this deck, in part because everyone else's level 1s are going to be are competing for board. In this case, I'm actually giving up the board, but with my determination with life on the line Kiratos, I'm still preparing myself for the next stage in the game. So I'm not losing as much by giving up the board's presence.
that makes sense.
Especially on their own when they can become 6/5s. They're
Okay.
still relevant.
too. It's going on here. I didn't have the
The
didn't
second.
have a usual in hand. I thought I did. That makes more sense. How long ago was this game? 3 weeks.
At least.
Initially, what we wanted to do was record the audio like we did for the other two games. Um, but we ran into some issues with the audio and more or less had to just re-record over it. That's what we're doing now.
Yeah, and it also helped us in a way to be able to more or less use this as a trial run to be able to set up for more games later down the road. We're going to be using Untap in the future, but we wanted to give Tabletop Simulator its own attempt.
Especially because that seems to be, this seems to be the industry standard at this point. Most people tend to use it. So, um, it's not bad. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not trying to, not trying to diss TTS. It's fine. It's actually really good for a lot of things. But, um,
But when your computer can't handle it,
no, that's the thing. It's nice. It's nice not having my computer overheat every time I try to play a game. So,
I mean, that, yeah, pretty much. I want to make that last as long as possible, especially for spending all the money on cards.
not wrong. I've started actually spending the money to build. I've started spending a little bit of money to build a Magic deck, first time ever. And my gosh, Magic is so expensive.
Yeah, yeah, it is. That's why I got out of Magic.
Yeah.
That and being in the middle of nowhere doesn't help with that either. Just, I'll go away. Reverse it all. So yeah, as we, as we begin to get to the mid game, once your usuals have come through the field, what is your next look? What do you want in that intermediary time between level 1 and level 3?
Well, at this point, everything's about getting to the level 3 combo. And at this point, realistically, I should have 4 or 5 stock, which I think in this case I have 4. So I can start paying that out with the assistance rest and pay 2 ability. Which, again, and like I talk about this in the deck video, in the description. It's expensive as heck, and nobody wants to pay that. That's why this deck isn't particularly good, but it's the most consistent way to get the finishing combo into hand. That's why I'm so concerned about making sure that I keep stuff in the board as much as possible in the early game. It's why I run the Yuki with hand on core. It's why I run the Haruhi that goes to memory. Because those things will, survive an extra turn, which is something I don't, especially with stuff that's this old and this low powered, the luxury I can't really afford. So
I didn't want to hit 2 climaxes here.
that. It's also one of the reasons that's one of the reasons I like the machine mechanic is because it kind of it offers some temporary compression, a world in which those cards would normally go to waiting room, especially because in um, so many cases I'll get the reverse with the usual, but it's it's that equal power with whatever it's facing. So instead of going to waiting room, it goes to memory. So if I can get a couple of those into memory, it offers that little bit of extra compression, and um, I know you're swinging into an open field.
Yeah, no, that's true. And this is where you disappeared for the game because internet. Um, so I'm still here debating what I'm really looking at. I see the stock is only 2, mainly because I just brainstormed.
Mm.
And, like, I,
What are
I,
you looking for off of this? Are you just trying to get through the rest of your deck at this point, or
I had the, I had, my stock was very dirty, so I was trying to clean it out with getting climaxes into the deck so I could deck refresh. Mainly because the climax that I want is now in deck.
enough? Does that brainstorm not send those cards to waiting room then?
Not like it. Yes and no. It. Oh, I'd actually have to pull up, make it a little bigger so I can see. It probably does. I probably misplayed there. Because then I have to. Yeah, because then I would draw 2, discard 1.
What do you want level one this spot? Getting into an open field, sitting at 1-5, 1-6,
Um.
6.
Yeah, I'm at 1-6.
That rest
Realistically,
means
I want my early plays in hand as much as possible, which they were all in the waiting room. I don't have a lot of salvage other than the standby. Most of where I get stuff is from the deck, so part of that refresh is to just make sure I get the cards that I want. Um, so getting the early plays, getting the either the level 3 Kirito into the waiting room, so I can attempt to stand by in at level 2. At the moment here, I have the level 0 Comforting Moment asanas in hand, essentially as a potential backup for big swing plays, especially if your deck is in a very uncompressed state. I can usually bring her in and then give that extra little soul tap to her to make it hurt a little bit more. Especially because standby doesn't grant power or soul. That usually my early game is hitting for smaller bits of damage. So I'm likely to get up higher before you because of that, because I'm not hitting you as hard. So with this deck, I'm usually going to get to level 2 before you. But once I hit level 2, things start to change. I really like the comeback mechanic of Weiss in that regard. I tend to build my decks around some of that comeback. I'll usually have a solid level 1. I'll back off at level 2 just to swing big at level 3 for the win. Like, ideally, I want to get you to 2-5 to then swing for the win. I mean, there are times I can usually get away with 2-3, 2-4. But if I can get you to 2-5, and then I'm at level 3.
Of course, it depends in part on, if you hit your restands.
Yeah, hitting the restands are the big one. That's the main mechanic I go for. Re- Technically, the mechanic that it wants to do is the Link Strike abilities, with Kirito bringing Sinon onto the field, and then Sinon restands. But realistically, even with standby, I still don't usually have enough stock to do it more than once. So realistically, the mechanic that I lean on heavily is actually Sinon's restand ability. Especially once she gets into the game, that's also draw power, even when she comes onto the field with Kirito. Realistically, part of the reason why I don't have the stock is because I early play Sinon. If I didn't early play Sinon, it'd be a different story.
Makes sense. I don't usually use two of the 1/1 search events in the same game, but in this game I remember at this point I was really hurting for stuff I could get into the field.
Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't help that you also have a Trouble Girl in your clock. I mean, ideally, I think that's where you want it at level 1.
No, that's not as concerning, but yeah, no, I don't. And I can tell. I remember this game super well, but I can tell just by the current game state that
I mean,
was missing a lot of pieces that I wanted.
3 climaxes and a Trouble Girl in the waiting room.
Not having any not having any usuals available to me off the search event either was you know
Mm-hmm.
at this point my hand is full of stuff that I um at this point I'm pretty sure I'm sitting on one row at this point.
Well, actually, here you're about to should be able to reverse the 5K in the front.
I'm pretty sure I just paid out the assistants
To go
Lily
searching.
to go get the trouble girl. So
Yeah. It,
I didn't have the power to get the
no,
reverse.
no, no,
I
no.
was gonna
With the Trouble Girl, the assistants rested, You didn't have the
Yeah,
power.
we've been at 4,000 in the middle, so it didn't end up mattering. But again, like I'm the deck I was expecting to swing into an open field, and but Haruhi eats enough damage so that it needs to keep pushing, and it's not. It's betraying kind of one of its fundamental weaknesses is that it eats a lot of damage. It needs to keep pushing, which means it needs to have stuff in the field just so it can keep damage up. If in this situation, if I'm not able to pull up the front row with something next turn, I'm going to be in both stock trouble and just damage race trouble.
No, don't do it, Brandon. I know what you're gonna do. No. Okay. Nope, that was a bad play on my part. I should have held on to it and saved it.
Just left out there what you had.
Yeah. Or if anything, played the comforting moment Asuna then. That would have been a better call. Because then it would save the stock and potentially even add more stock and still swing for the same amount of damage. And then be able to use the Xenon in the level 3 game. And also, that was the wrong card to pull out, too. I don't need the power.
Not against Haruhi, no.
No. In this case, it should have been the Kirito, which there was 2 in the waiting room. At this point, I'm pretty sure I was getting cocky. Because I'm like, there's no way you can come a step over those now. I'm positive that was the mentality behind it.
I do like that Asuna a lot, though.
Oh, no, I do. The Asuna is fantastic. I also need to stop triggering climaxes. That's also a problem. Because I believe that's the 4th climax I've triggered this game.
You triggered a lot of climaxes. All right, so now you're sitting at 2-2. I'm at 1-6.
Mm-hmm. See,
So
there's number 5.
point, sure, I'm sitting at 6.
Yeah, you're at 1-6 at the moment. Yeah. So you're at 2. You're gonna be at 2-2 as well.
At this point, I feel like I have the advantage
I mean,
because I'm going to have the opportunity. Well, because I'm going to have the opportunity to swing for game before you do.
yeah.
Because I mean, in a normal situation, you are not going to be able to swing for game from 2-2. Like that's as much as that that's literally happened. It's not common. It's not something I'm going to. I know I can't push for game here. I know I can get myself in a position where I can win the game my next turn. So
I really like seeing the Trouble Girl in that waiting room. Sorry, in the clock at level 2 though.
as long as it finds its way into the often than not, as long as it finds its way into the waiting room before the refresh is that's what's most important. I'm gonna Like right here, well, I'm pretty much stuck with whatever I have at this point, unless I can find a way to, um, unless I can find a way to get a Trouble Girl into the discard.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, 7 cards in hand.
I mean, 7 cards
You
in
know,
hand, and
I also haven't used a ton of. Also haven't used a ton of stock. I think I'm still sitting on the 3 from the previous turn. So,
yeah, you are.
um,
And realistically, your Haruhi comes back into field, so you still have. It's not like you don't have cards. And
mm,
realistically, you blow up here, don't you? You blow up, get the stock in there to set up for your third turn, relying on your compression, right?
realistically, yeah. Um, and against SAO, it's hate doing that because of the potential for high damage output coming back, but high number of swings, all swinging into an open field, you don't like that very much.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, see that's what makes this work, right? Is because
Mm-hmm.
normally I want to hit this before the refresh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you're not paying the additional 1 here to do that, but to go into the waiting room and get a card.
well, it wouldn't do me any good anyway. Like I'd be paying 1 for something that isn't a Trouble Girl because I can't. I have to search out SOS Brigade characters. So that card is only it's only useful for getting stuff out of the discard if I hit the climax. So I think I do have the climax in hand here. I think I do, but um, it doesn't matter. I got to level 2. I got to level 2 later than I normally do. Usually, when I start level 2, I still have cards in deck, so I can actually pull this off. But I spent an extra turn. I think I spent an extra turn at level 1.
Yeah, because you canceled my damage early on.
Mm. At this point, I'm just trying to push. Um, and because I am if I put down the I am here climax here in blind stock 1, I'll have 6 stock going into or going into level 3. I'll be able to get everything into the field as long as I have it in hand. So at this point, I'm just trying to push for damage, and hopefully I have all the Trouble Girls I need in hand. I've got at least 1, probably got 2.
I think you have 2. I think pretty sure you have 2 in hand.
I'm pretty sure I have 2 here. But basically, more or less hoping to draw a third one off the top, which is not the best situation in, but and I know nothing in the deck can step over anything. I'm not worried about losing them.
Yeah, that's the I am here. Okay.
The blind suck off the top gets me there. I'm at 6 as long as I have the in stock, as long as I get the Trouble Girls. I'm also, gonna be playing defense from 2-3. So realistically, I'm just trying to if I can stick 2 of these 3 and get you to 2-6, 2-7, I can swing for game next or 2-7. 2-6, 3-0, I can swing for game next turn. And like obviously the door doesn't help me here. No, like I have one of those in hand, so like I'm not worried like but all it does is it gives me my power pump back, which doesn't help me much down the stretch.
No.
It does stick at 2-2, so
We're
at
just
this point I'm out a little bit. this point I'm getting anxious because one, this is likely not to stick. It does, but like whenever I overturn that climax, it's it's a little terrifying.
Yeah, no, I feel it.
When compression is more important than actually getting big numbers to stick. So I luck out and I get you to 3-1 here, but at the cost of 2 climaxes.
Which fun fact is still revealed?
So I got my 2 to stick like I wanted, and obviously one was bigger than I expected, but I got the wanted to get you to 2-6, 3-0, and I got you to that level at least. So now it's just a matter of surviving.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like leaving things down to hoping that you don't trigger your climaxes. But unfortunately, Haruhi is a deck where you in part have to hope that you don't trigger your climaxes because there's no way to fix it. It's like again, its chief limitation is that you can't fix anything. There's no real way to fix your hand. There's no way to mill. The only thing you can really do is clean your stock. It's the only kind of actual deck control you have. You can compress a little bit with some pieces, but if you draw a bunch of climaxes or if you trigger a bunch of climaxes, the wrong time, there's no way really to fix it.
Well,
like if I were playing a different deck, I might even encore at this point, to try to to try to save those, get those back into deck.
mm-hmm.
But I also know that I'm not refreshing again. So
Well, see, the problem that this also got to lay it out a little bit. I ran into an issue here. I ran into the deck refresh happening at the wrong time for me as well.
mm,
Because now I have 5 stock. I'm pretty positive I only have 3 climaxes in a 27 card deck. And I have this Kirito Link Strike. I have the climax for it, but I have no targets because I have no waiting room.
mm.
So then the question becomes: do I step over? What do I step over to get it? Because I only have 5 stock. I know what I should do here, looking at it objectively from this point. I think the play is actually to play the Link Strike Kirito over Link Strike Xenon. So that way I can combo her back in and then play the Comforting Moment Asana over something else for additional pretend level 3. Clearly I didn't do that, and I'm going for a Brainstorm, which hits and misses. Sorry, it just misses. Doesn't even hit. Everything about that Brainstorm is a miss. And then now I'm getting flustered because it's not staying, so I can just throw it aside. I'm like, no, I'm done. Because I can build... I'm like, yeah. Playing over that for the 0. And then I'm just coming for soul triggers at this point, I think. So I'm just farming those in.
And like counting on my compression to be bad at this point is not a bad call. I'm missing at least 4 climaxes out of there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, see, the problem is that you're also at 2-3.
mm.
I really don't like swinging at 2-3 because the likelihood I drop you to 3-6 is super high, as opposed to getting that final bit in there. And so I see that I don't have anything to pull from. Man, I'm gonna make the... I'm pretty positive I play over the Yui. I don't remember for sure. Because I'm thinking if I play over the Yui, there's a possibility I could trigger the Xenon and. No, I just start swinging. That's awful. That's a terrible choice, Brandon. Well, now I know. I should have played Zakirito for sure. I don't know why I didn't. I also didn't play the climax. I probably was actually expecting your compression to be better. Because I drop you to 2-6. Yeah, you canceled one of those, so it's.
And it's tough to swing from two because you have no you don't have any choice but really to be aggressive. Because you're at 3-2, and even if you tried to stall me out and me from getting to level 3, you're still in range because you know that I have the climax in hand. You know that I can just push things forward
And of course, I trigger another climax.
right. I actually remember this, like trying to figure out trying to figure out if I was at 2-6 or 3-0. I'm getting irritated because I kept dropping cards into the wrong slot. At this point, I'm hoping this sticks, realistically.
That should have been for 4. Oh no, I swung in the middle last. That's why. That's why. I swung with. I'm being silly. Because that's the only way that Xenon would have restood. So it was only for 3. Yeah. 3-2. Man, it's hard to watch now. Okay. Ah, wow. I recognize the in moment decision that I made.
Mhm. No, it's tough going back and watching yourself play.
Yeah, no, I think the better play, after thinking about it more, is playing over the Yui. Because when he comes on the field, I can turn over 5 cards, pick one into hand. So
I think so. The only reason I clock there is because I don't have the third Trouble Girl in hand. I think I actually
drew into it.
think I drew into it off the clock. I don't know for sure, but
Because we play so many of these games.
well, apparently not because I'm
You're searching
just paid
for it.
out too. So
Oh, I'm searching. Yeah, I'm searching through your waiting room. Okay.
clearly I did not draw into it.
And you brought up the anti-brainstorm ping just in case, right?
If it's there, then I'll put it out there. It's not something I'm going to commit resources to, but if it's there, then I'll try to go get it.
Well, and just in regarding as like a attempt to do damage on my turn kind of thing.
Mm. if I can't get to third Trouble Girl, what I like to do is get the Reverser. At the very least, then I'm able to get that little bit of extra damage. You actually have a level 0 out there anyway, so
And realistically, I think you're actually bigger than she is.
I think I am. Yeah, I think in this case, well, I don't know how much. How because does the Asuna give you power on defense?
Not for that side.
Okay.
She should. My estimate is only 1,000 in the front row.
Oh, I mean the Asuna in the back, the 3-2.
Yeah, she only gives 2,000 to the two in front of her.
Okay, so you.
So my Xenon's bigger than you. Well, yeah, no, probably tied with you with Climax.
I'm just at 11,000 at this point.
Yeah, so is Xenon.
Okay. What I should do is attack with the Reverser first, then give the power to that Haruhi. I don't know if I actually do that.
It looks like you're about to.
No, if I have the anti-brainstorm in hand, I'll put it out there. It also, if I lose,
I was looking at the book characteristic here.
if I lose one of my couple girls, if I'm swinging into a wall, I can give 1,000 to a different one. So it's not super useful, but it's not terrible.
And I cancel in one. Great. So I have one Climax left now in my deck.
So yeah. I do love the free burn. It's
And there it is.
it's a shame that more decks in modern Weiss don't have that effect at all. I actually think it's pretty great.
I think you actually side attacked into the Asuna. That's what it looks like. Because you reversed your Haruhi.
Yeah. Must have done that thinking like it just in case I didn't survive, just to have something to,
On the field, yeah.
maybe I don't know. In any case, I get the last 3, and that's that.
And that's the game. Of the stock in there, yep, 3. 3 in stock, 2 in hand, 3 in the waiting room.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and thanks.
We'll see you next time. Thanks.